Hey team, it's day 14. Hope you're doing great. I wanted to get into 6 goals quick and talk a little bit after that about high intensity interval training versus what I like to call normal cardio or slow cardio, some people call it. But I had someone ask a question because they're like, hey, Richard, what if you haven't really done cardio? And some ads are telling me, doing cardio causes you to get fat or doesn't really do a whole lot. And specifically for women, maybe I should be doing this HIIT training. And, so we'll get into that a little bit. But first, let's go through the 6 goals. Now, I don't have to use any red. I did have somebody who I care for a lot tell me like, hey, why you don't do that, man? It's kind of a little bit of a crazy thing because you don't use red very often. Well, the reason you want to shoot for not using red, and it's a good thing when you don't use red on your daily goals, is because if you use a lot of red on your daily goals, you're not going to hit them long term, right? So I'm going to keep saying that I don't have to use red today. So that's the one time I'm not going to take somebody else's comment. So here we go. Day 14, weight is 225. Not surprising, I am playing a little bit with the level of carbohydrate. That clearly is impacting me as far as water retention is concerned. I don't mind though the 7 pounds. That always looks good. But as we get into week 3, week 4, week 5, I'm going to definitely watch this to ensure that that's not fluctuating too much. Based on level of carb, I should have it down by next week. 2,096 calories. I'm liking to stay more near the 2,000 rather than 2,300 now that I'm starting my downward trend. So that's a good thing. 137 ounces of water. I'm not drinking as much caffeine anymore, so I'm getting some headaches, but I'm trying to replace it with a little more water. It's going well, and it also keeps me full. Got 7 hours of sleep. I know that was a bare minimum. It was actually a little more, but true, and I'm getting my sleep, 65 minutes of work. I'm really enjoying my new workout that I have. It's got a little bit of shorter rest, higher volume, and I'm really enjoying it. Less stressful on the joints, and it really helps me to get my heart rate up a little bit as well. So 225 grams of protein. You guys know that I'm not going to miss my protein unless something crazy happens, like when I'm traveling that I can't get to some protein, and that could happen. I'm actually going on a trip for 4 days here to go spend some time with my family and an ice fishing tournament. So that's going to be fun. But just so you know, protein is one of my primary things that I shoot for in a day just because it helps keep me full. And I believe it's, what helps keep my muscle mass. So here we go. High intensity interval training versus normal cardio. Now, what are some of the benefits and what are some of the watch outs? So the first watch out I would say is if you haven't done cardio before. I know there are some programs that say, hey, HIIT is where to go. And you can do some starter versions of high intensity interval training. You can do lower time, but just be careful, please, when undertaking any sort of cardio workout or cardio in your regimen. Please consult your doctor or somebody, a trainer or somebody you trust. But I would say ensure that your body is able to handle the type of cardio that you're going to venture out into, or even lifting program. I've said that before. Especially if you are very overweight or you have some comorbidities such as blood pressure, lipids, high glucose, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, any kind of issues like that, or comorbidities is what they're called. Please consult your doctor, okay? Please, before you would start any of this. But let's go into why HIIT has some advantages to normal cardio or slow cardio. And the first thing is like you don't have to do it as long. Like when I get my 30 to 45 minutes of cardio in, I'm watching something, I'm going decently intense, but nothing that's going to, make me have to lose my focus on what I'm watching or what I'm studying. High intensity interval training, that's just what it is, high intensity. So like you're doing a sprint or something super fast, even if it's on a machine with a lot of resistance for a certain amount of time, 10, 20, sometimes 30 seconds, and then you rest for that. And you do that for like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Some people do it for like 30, which I think is crazy. Like I think the most I've ever done it for is probably a 20-minute duration. But compared to my 35, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour of cardio, if I'm going to do a long walk, watch a long video, things like that, it's a lot shorter duration. So if you don't have a lot of time, it might be a place for you to go if you've already done some cardio and you kind of know where your body is. Secondly, is it can lead to greater overall body fat loss. So holistically, it does activate, your body and body fat. It might not lead to as much lipid loss. I was got to do more research on this, but holistically, it could lead to greater overall fat because it's anaerobic. So it does activate some of that fat to be used as energy. So it's kind of a good one there. And increased cardiovascular effects. So when you're getting your blood pressure up to pump and run through this at a high, what we call VO2 max, like cardiovascularly, it's going to have better effects. So I do this probably about 2 months before the amateur baseball season, just to ensure I'm able to sprint down a baseball or run between bases. But for the most part, I do normal cardio because, like I said, I like to multitask with that and watch a video, listen to a podcast, any number of things that help further my education. That is my what I call multitasking when I do that. So I like to learn. The last part would be, if you've done some normal cardio and if you kind of know where your body range is as far as what you can push yourself, look into the high intensity interval training. One thing you got to remember is I would just start with maybe a day or 2 a week just to get your body into it. But again, please consult a doctor, especially if you have comorbidities before starting any of these programs. That's my disclaimer. But in the end, I believe that if you want shorter duration and you don't like a ton of cardio, maybe a couple days a week, you are hitting your calories, you are getting your daily activity. Might not be a bad idea to have a day or two of this activity to be your high intensity interval training. So do your own research. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you guys have anything else, let me know. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.